focus. I was sitting here and it just wasn't in focus at all. It's like blurry. I was like, is it me? Am I cross-eyed already? The sun just come up and I'm already can't see? Nah. Anyway, hey, good morning. It is 2/4 with tonight the Trump assassination files, which, hey, by tonight, we ought to get a response on all the bombing that Donald Trump claims he's going to do today. Oh, yeah, the Trump timeline of how many and what are we going to bomb and when we're going to bomb and how long we're going to bomb. Seems to be a communications problem with Donald Trump. I better watch out. Rev Radio is going to sneak right past me. All right, my intro is rolling on Rev Radio. Whew, I got to get myself straight. God. Now wake up, Mitch. Sometimes you even got to slap the shit out of yourself. All right, are you ready? Well, I think I am. Oh, God, man. Hey, you got to have some fun somewhere along the line, man. I mean, really. I mean, shit is so fucked up, you can't. It's like, really? They fucked that up, too? Gee, what's next? Yeah, as Donald Trump and the Israeli lobby throw cold water on wet dreams of everywhere. They say, no, you have to go to that place called you have to go to that place called OnlyFans. That's right. That's the only place you can get your satisfaction today. Donald Trump is screaming and hollering at the top of his lungs, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What's wrong with people? I just can't believe the Iranians haven't cried Uncle Donnie yet. Uncle Donnie! Uncle Donnie! Just goes to show how he doesn't really understand the religious and cultural aspects of the region. The only thing Donnie Trump understands is what the Mossad, what the CIA, what the Pentagram, I mean, literally, hey, why the fuck, if you're doing all this, why the fuck did you get rid of the mustache man, the walrus guy, you know, John Bolton? Why? Why in some fucking crazy world would Donald Trump get rid of John Bolton if he's going to go, you know, full Israeli genocide on everybody that doesn't agree with him? So, yeah, just prepare yourself. So the defecation is supposedly going to hit the rotary oscillator today. As Donald Trump says, you want war? We'll give you war. I mean, Donald Trump's literally, you know, hey, can we just bring back Dr. Strangelove real quick? Yeah. Liberals are crying $42 billion spent on bombs and missiles to hit Iran, and the jets and the radars and everything else that got blown up and knocked down and everything else. It's $42 billion. Hell, $42 billion isn't even a fucking drop in the bucket in just fraud in the state of California. Okay? We'll get to those bunch of sorry fucks later, okay? California, where prosperity is built on fraud, just as it is in Minnesota. You know, those fucking grunt, stupid Somali communities wouldn't have jack shit in them if they didn't have all the fraud in their in money floating around in their communities. Okay, I mean they wouldn't be driving a Mercedes Benz. Well, I guess unless they're like Janis Joplin and saying, "Oh Lord, can't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?" And the Somali scares, kapoof! Allah. Hey man, maybe I'll have to do some Allah Akbar so we can get Mercedes Benzes too. Look, these people are fucking stupid around the world. Okay, I'm sorry. It is a shame. It is a shame that we're spending any amount of money bombing Iran back to the next door Stone Age. Okay. All you really have to do is shut off the internet and, shut off the electrical systems. You don't really have to bomb anything else because without electricity, I mean, what moves? Not a damn thing. Meanwhile, of course, the United States has said, yeah, man, we rescued 2 pilots that were shot down over Iran. We had a Warthog that was A-10 tank killer Warthog, close ground support plane. One of them was shot down and landed in the Gulf. Another one was allegedly shot down and landed, and when the pilot, whatever, was rescued. And then in the midst of this rescue operation, I mean, really, this is just bullshit. Okay, this is straight up bullshit. All right. I don't even know at this point if there was an operation to get pilots that were shot down. Okay. I really don't even know at this point. Okay. What I do know for sure, what I can tell you, is that where those 2 C-130s, 2 C-130 airplanes, carrying troops and two attack helicopters. The wings fold up. They slide them right into the fucking belly of the beast. Well, yeah. So, the magic thing is, the really strange, weird thing is, where all of this carnage took place, where we lost those aircraft. Remember, we blew them up on the ground, allegedly. And that's only 20 miles or 25 kilometers, 20 miles from where Iran's nuclear stockpile is supposed to be stored. Now, never mind that the United States has allegedly bombed the fucking snot out of these areas. It's still alleged that they have these 60 pounds, or I guess it's, or whatever, close to 60 pounds of enriched uranium. So it is crazy. Okay, everything is kind of unwinding. All right. Now, how much and what is Donald Trump really going to do to Iran? He's going to knock out all the power plants. Because without the power plants, you can't pump water. You certainly can't pump sewage if you live in a city. All right. How should I say this? You shut down all the oil infrastructure. And you literally, shut down a whole country without public electrical generation. Okay, I mean, I can imagine what it would be like here. Everybody would be using up their generators real fast, but that wouldn't be the best idea. Anyway, so you have to understand this so-called limited war. What Donald Trump was saying, it's just going to be, a limited war. They're going to cry Uncle Donnie. It's going to be okay. We're going to go in. We're going to fucking steal their oil. We're going to take it now. Donald Trump has, said we're just going to go in and we're going to take the oil now. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, okay? So, we basically on this countdown to this latest deadline that Donald Trump has laid out there, okay? So that President Trump gave Iran 48 hours to reopen the vital oil shipping route on March 21st. It's April the 7th. The deadline has been reset many times since, and basically Trump's taco is, he's trying to talk people into doing something that, they cannot essentially force somebody to do. Okay, that's just the truth of what's going on, what's happening in today's drone-driven, bomb-laden world. Okay. So Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day. Wrap up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it, Trump wrote on social media. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Yeah, he said Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I guess that's the date. What is that? I'd be like Wednesday morning over there, right? I don't know. Now Donald Trump has they have moved a substantial chunk of our cruise missiles out and have pre-positioned them, and the generals in the Pentagon are looking like, what, you going to burn up everything we have on some, some goat herders in Iran? Well, they don't have no choice. Israel convinced Donald Trump and his ego to go all in the neo-state world government, okay? That's what essentially has happened. So there isn't much anybody can do until Donald Trump looks at Israel and say, Jesus, wait a minute. Are you the problem? Yeah, you're the problem. But you over here, Israel, you seem to be the other part and the other half of the problem. And until Donald Trump does that, okay? Until Donald Trump looks at Iran and looks at Israel and says, man, both of you are a problem. Both of you are in this never-ending cultural war to kill each other and dominate each other because you believe that you're superior to me and you and me and, how fucking liberals in America can embrace Islam or Judaism, I have no fucking idea. Because they are both supremacist ideologies. And that's what I don't get, in the end, Is it the political pressure or is it the blackmail from the Epstein files? If anything, the Epstein files are basically a modern day, USS Liberty attack on the United States and these attempts to control and effectively rule the United States ad hoc through Manchurian presidents and candidates. We've seen it again and again and again. There goes the doggy. So, yeah. Bump, ba-dum, bump. The FBI opens up a pre-crime center. A pre-crime center? Really, Cash? I mean, you have got to be fucking kidding me, okay? Effing Bastards Incorporated opens up a political pre-crime center. Ooh. You mean like in Virginia when Democrats gerrymander through this gerrymandering of Virginia, that we could probably should have a civil war here in Virginia. You're talking about like things about like that, Cash, you know? Because you motherfuckers sure haven't gone after any motherfucker in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Even that fucking scumbag pervert from Hollywood, or Pedowood, I guess in this case. What's his name? Woody Allen. Talking about bringing sex slaves, you know, in emails to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? Now, this is a pervert who married his adopted daughter. I mean, poor Mia Farrow, man. Listen, if I sat on a jury and it was Mia Farrow's murder of Woody Allen, where she, in the middle of the night, she knocked his ass out and then fucking lopped off his dick and his balls and stuffed them in his mouth and stabbed him in the heart. I would find her innocent. That's, grooming, raping, and your adopted daughter. Oh, man. Listen, that's another reason. This is another reason why we have so many of these perverted pedo fucks running around. Because people don't go full postal man on them, right? Full postal. It's like, remember the old post going postal. Remember, they stopped that since everybody quit licking the backs of stamps. And the fucking glue from the mad horses and the fucking animals don't make you crazies. Ha! Crazy cat ladies ain't nothing got anything on people going postal. But then again, postal is just, in some cases, it's just the norm of the neighborhoods, okay? Where was it? Minnesota? No. Chicago, maybe? Washington, D.C., New York. I think it was up in New York again, where, listen, it's springtime, okay? You got mobs of teenagers. Excuse me. You have these people doing, real-time get-togethers and doing street racing, doing donuts in the intersection, block the intersection off and do donuts. And next thing you know, there's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of kids, age 10 to 20. I'm just saying, young people that are going fucking wild, and they're shooting their sometimes, people get knocked out. What happens? People help them. They turn their pockets out. They rob them while they're knocked out in the fucking ground. Okay. And then there's listen, every place you turn and every place you have these big groups of people today particularly in major cities, there's a shooting somehow, somewhere, somebody's butt hurt, somebody's pulling out a gun and blasting away, and somebody's pulling out another gun and they're blasting back. Yeah, and neither of them probably hit anybody they were fucking aiming at, okay? But fucking Kash Patel and a crime. Give me a fucking break. Can we even get real time crime? We can't even stop. Yeah, we literally can't even stop. All of the illegal immigrants in America. Now they want to do somebody. What is this, like if you think you're going to come to America? Is this pre-immigration crime? No, I'm just kidding. Literally pre-crime. Yeah, all they're doing is turning AI loose on the internets. Okay? That's all they're doing. And then AI will learn and will act as informants and act as proxies. Um, that's all I'm trying to say. This is some of the things that are coming in the future, and you're gonna and instead of having the FBI making up crimes where there are more FBI agents and informants in the conspiracy than there are so-called conspirators. Okay, as they did in the retarded plot to get in the false attempt to have a kidnapping of Gretchen Whitmer. I mean, give me a fucking break, okay? It's highly, they're bananas, okay? They found a couple retarded people that needed some money, and they basically talked them into everything. The FBI runs a dedicated NSPM 7-point mission center. Listen, this total information awareness, it's already here. And what they're doing today, they're going to manufacture this stuff in the future. I mean, that's what they've always done, okay? They've always done this. This public opposition to ICE is wrong, all right? Democrat leaders are afraid because they will be exposed as anti-American, anti-democratic, and literally, doing everything they can in an unconstitutional manner. A seditious, traitorous conspiracy. The Democrats did this knowingly to overload, the immigration system, so that everybody would become what? A Democrat. And they would have this force majeure of individuals that they brought in illegally during the Biden CIA puppet years, okay? Everybody knows this. And, nobody wants to say, look, we know what the fuck happened. We understand that Democrats are attempting to gerrymander the entire United States by racking and packing and stacking illegal immigrants into safe zones, and then use those bodies to count them in the census somehow, some way, so they can then claim representation for these motherfuckers, okay? Anyway, yeah, anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support to overthrow the United States government, extremism on migration, extremism on race, extremism on gender. I mean, would they get a 10-year-old to fucking type this up? Or is this an AI generated list? I mean, I'm sorry. The FBI looks more retarded every day. Every day we don't see real justice is a day that the FBI loses more credibility, okay? It's, crazy. Well, anyway, I don't know what this means, or is this just a ghost in a machine or whatever? A Russian colonel has said in 10 days, its time has come. Russian Colonel Mikhail Kordak says nuclear strikes could be used. Oh, this is intel coming out of Ukraine. Anyway, the colonel has called for nuclear weapons to be used to end the war in 10 days. Yeah, really. Sure. Anyway, Colonel Kardanock said Vladimir Putin should issue a deadline similar to the one Donald Trump issued to Iran, except the Russian version involves being ready to unleash nuclear bombs. Listen, they would use the Orishnik missile. They wouldn't use bombs. Let's get this straight, okay? Yeah, might as well put fucking aluminum. Find some tinfoil. Make yourself a nice little pirate's hat, maybe. And don't forget to put, in case of nuclear war, to wrap your feet in aluminum foil. And if you have to, wrap it around your midsection, then put your underwear on. And, always make sure, you got a cup in there, something to protect yourself. Because, nuclear war is known to fry some stuff. That's sarcasm, by the way. Remember, gamma radiation goes through like a foot or 2 foot of concrete, 6 inches of lead, okay? I mean, understand, alpha, beta, and gamma radiation and the waves, and the real danger is internal contamination, not external. But those are all things that that if you have to survive a war like that, or survive in a place that has a lot of contamination, radioactive contamination, you'll learn that real quick. I mean, and there will be a lot of people that die because they just stay exposed to that stuff. It's a sad thing, but they do. I don't know what they're going to do. Listen, they're not going to. I don't believe Russia is going to use a nuke on on Ukraine. That'll open a whole different can of worms up. I have always believed that somewhere along the line that Kiev would become a smoldering nuclear heap, a pile of wreckage. So yeah, and the thing is, people may not like the sound of this, but the truth is, France and Germany and the United States, we would blow Kiev off the map with a nuclear weapon. We would blow it up ourselves, just to cause the war to start. That is how down and dirty and how stupid the American government is. Okay. Now, remember, somebody has fissionable material from the Soviet era, and I'm sure that would be that kind of a material used so it could be laid at the feet of the Russians. That's all I'm trying to say, because the radioactive isotopes come out later that show where essentially and how it was manufactured. All of that is that's high security controlled shit, and there is a lot of documentation behind almost all of it. I'm sure there's some out there that's rogue. Meanwhile, 75 Gulf energy assets damaged in the U.S.-Iran war. No. It's the Israel-U.S.-Iran war. Okay? Everybody conveniently leaves Israel out of it, but, let's be honest, in 1979 79, when the Ayatollah Khomeini took over Iran, and the Shah of Iran, the American-led butcher of Iran, literally was expelled from the country. So were Western allies. Believe it was 89. I'm trying to remember now. The number of people that were at the U.S. Embassy then. So yeah, it's you know, when the hostage attempt to rescue the hostages in Iran, Operation Eagle Claw in is that 1980? This yeah, 1980 or November 4th, 1979. Let me get, here's a timeline. The U.S. Iranian revolutionaries stormed the U.S. embassy in Tehran. 66 Americans taken hostage. Later, 53 remained. Jimmy Carter authorized a rescue mission called Operation Eagle Claw, April 24th to the on 25th, 1980. Okay. So if you think about this, within just days, okay, of this operations and stuff in Iran, we have this attempt to rescue the hostages. One of the things that I was involved in, I guess, as a Marine, you know, we were part of this rapid reactionary force that was scheduled to fly out anywhere, any place on the globe to go into combat. Okay, to support any mission they sent us on. All right, but so they had a team from the I think from the USS Nimitz that they put together, but it was actually this team where they how should I say it? They had combined. It was like a combined armed exercise instead of, you know, all Marines, all Army, you know, all Navy. You know, it was a group of individuals. Anyway. So they went in and they were going to rescue the hostages in Iran. And, well, they failed. All right. They did say they got back all of the pilots that Donald Trump or allegedly were shot down. And like I said, I don't know if they were allegedly shot down or not, because if you look at the equipment where Donald Trump, where this rescue operation took place, okay, where they allegedly lost 2 C-130s and a Warthog and this other stuff. I covered this a little earlier, okay? And I never did circle around to straight out say, they're just basically lying. Did they have a failed operation to get Iran's nuclear stuff and something happened? Did they try to pre-position this stuff on an agricultural runway right near the nuclear operations center? It certainly looks that way. As I said, you know, there were two of these there were two other aircraft besides the ones that were shown or said. The wreckage and the photographs of the wreckage indicate there were 2 C-130s, but there were also two, not one, but two of these tactical helicopters, I guess, that you take in, okay? And the propeller folds up, and they just, you know, they put it in, they take it out. You know, it's all loaded, ready to go. As soon as they hit the ground, they get it out, and they have local air support deep inside of some like a forward operating base. You know, it looks more like they were making a forward operating base in Iran to try to get these to get this nuclear material. It kind of does. I can't say that's the whole thing, but they may have. Maybe they did lose some troops, but maybe in the same time, they had some side ops going on, right? I'm just saying, it's crazy. A British official says, "Man, come go in and rescue hostages and rescue your pilots. We couldn't do that. The UK is not capable of rescuing pilots, their Air Force pilots or Marine pilots, naval pilots, if they're shot down overseas. They have no capable logistical support system or satellites. They all depend on the U.S. and our satellites. Imagine that." So, yeah. Iranian Kurdish groups deny receiving U.S. weapons after Trump's guns for protesters remark. Yeah, anyway, Trump is essentially, putting a bullseye on the back of anybody who is in a group of people that stand against the Iranian government, okay? By saying, "Yep, we give them all guns, you better watch out." Listen, these people have guns the way rednecks have guns, okay? It's not a mystery. And I imagine in like Iran or Pakistan or some of these other stand countries, if you don't have a gun, you're just going to be a victim, okay? Just call you victim, okay? That's just the truth, okay? Several Iranian Kurdish opposition groups on Monday denied reports that the U.S. had armed them during the anti-government protests and riots that left over 3,000 Iranians dead. This is Mohammed Nafil Quadin, the senior official for the opposition of the Kurdistan Democratic Party, called the reports baseless, saying, "We haven't received any weapons. The weapons are from 47 years ago, and we obtained them on the Islamic Republic's battlefield. And we bought some on the market. That's where we got all of our weapons." As much as the Kurds in Iraq and Syria have been supported by the U.S., it's going to be a natural overflow into Iran. Okay, in fact, that has always been part of the package, so to speak. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it is sheer crazy, I guess, is what I was saying. That remember, Trump initially said 3 to 6 weeks of bombing, and they would cry Uncle Donnie. I would have thought after the Ukraine, of trying to solve the Ukraine war, this cultural conflict created by Barack Obama in Ukraine, where they essentially put Euro Nazis in charge of a country. Yeah. You would think Donald Trump would have learned something, but no, maybe he's just gotten put down them Jewish roots. Yeah, roots. Because it's a rut, not a root, man. I am telling you, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Donald Trump. A lot of people have kind of written Donald Trump off because psychologically, that he has gone down this road and has embraced this Zionism, and Bibi Netanyahu in Israel, and playing this worldwide hero peacemaker But the truth is, most often the peacemaker isn't the political peacemaker. They're peacemakers because they have beat the fucking snot out of everybody, and they have killed themselves or the market or something, you know. They have created such a dominance that nobody dares speak. Meanwhile, the economy is wavering and quivering and getting ready to, well, collapse. It is April in America, and you know what that means? Time to have a garden. And somebody asked the other day, and yes, we have a garden. I got to clean it out. I got to get my rototiller turning. And, you know, it is something that, yeah, that people should have some kind of a small garden of some kind. If they can have like a greenhouse on the side of their own house, that, you know, that may even have to be a permanent option in the future. I'm just saying, the things are going to get so crazy expensive because of the price of fuel. I don't know if Donald Trump has been factoring this in. I don't know if he's been thinking about it, but listen, above $6 for a gallon of diesel, I don't know if the economy, the way it is structured, it will survive because of the collapse in the markets, in the ability to bring food to the marketplace. Okay, it just be that simple. It's not going to, you know, you're going to look at a 30% increase in the price of foods, just because you think about it. They're all delivered. You know, almost all of the farming depends on all kinds of big ass machinery that doesn't run for free. Yeah. So understand that the price of everything is going to escalate, and you know, as remember, who was it? Was it the previous Biden administration that said it's a temporary spike? It ain't a temporary spike. You're seeing the death of the fucking dollar itself. I mean, let's be honest. Remember, they have to kill the dollar. You have the Iranians taking petro yuan from a half a dozen countries now that are essentially going around the U.S. blockade. But if you're attached to the U.S. or NATO or Israel, then you're, let's just say there is no passage for you. Okay, that's what I would point out. All right. Yeah, Doritos, man. I forget the company, but Doritos, Pepsi Cola company, you know, all under one major corporation, you know. Well, you know, they thought they were going to be cute and slowly drove up the price of a bag of Doritos. Pepsi company and Inc.'s chip prices have gotten too high. Walmart has been telling them for a while that Doritos, Frito-Lay's, Cheetos, and other snacks are, they raised their prices last year. And, you know, the people, they pushed it above the market, okay? You know, people are only willing to pay so much for a premium product, and then they'll buy, you know, then they'll buy an off-brand. And Doritos and other companies are learning that, you know, in a hard way. I do have to hand it that at least PepsiCo company didn't have Dylan Mulvaney or whoever the hell, some Fruit Loop come out and say, I'm a Frito-Lay. Man, I would have sent, you know, that would have sent the fucking stock tanking. I mean, really, who in the hell would want to buy some of that? Not I. Anyway, so the war in Iran is sending oil prices and gas prices high. And now, because they're already charging a premium and a high cost and packaging and everything else, the company's margins are like thin. They borrowed a bunch of money. Boils down. PepsiCo, I think, borrowed a bunch of fucking money. And now they're having trouble maintaining the debt in a market where your debt load is basically, a weight around your neck as you're trying to swim across, uh, a deep spot in the river. Okay, it literally will drag you under and end your company. Okay, but yeah, I mean, I think you have to be crazy, crazy. I saw this next story and I said, "Oh fuck no, hell no, 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 no." Two big fat finger fuck yous to these peoples. Yeah, can you imagine somebody telling you, "Well, no retirement, no retirement. Forget, remember it used to be, you needed $1 million for, to live, till you were a millionaire. You needed $1 million, so you could live the rest of your life." That was the old style of thinking. Well, today it's like $2.5 million instead of $1 million. And they say, "Well, let's hold on. Just to make that 2.5 million last, we're going to have to work you to the age of 85. That's right, forget 65. America's new retirement age is either 85 or 35. I'll take 35. Oh, man. God, man, there was a guy in Wichita, Kansas. Um, man. Anyway, ended up working till he was in his 80s. And then there's another kid that's a tech app entrepreneur guy. He retired at 35. Yeah. And then some of these senior citizens, they go back to work. Some of them don't have to, but some of them do. Too many have to work because of the price, okay? Let's be honest, people for a while believed that Social Security was supposed to be, take them in their golden years, and Social Security was supplemental retirement income. It wasn't supposed to be your your main retirement, and for too many people, it essentially was, and but that's what happened as Social Security became more prevalent. 401ks and all this other stuff kind of got pushed into other places. Even today, those that have 401ks and stuff have been reducing the amount of money that they can put into the long-term retirement plans. Maybe because they've been looking at this stuff, and the guy says, "Fuck, if I get divorced when I'm 40, is she going to get half of my 401k? Fuck it, I'm going to get a bass boat. Fuck it, I'm gonna start a charter service out of Miami or Key West or someplace." Oh yeah, I mean, hey, I guess you only live once, I guess is what I would say. Uh-oh, here's a trend that I can see happening real quick, but it could get into places that we may not want to really talk about. AI dolls offer companionship for elderly people. Um, they got basically, a basket, like a doll about yay big. That's computerized. I guess you have to plug her in every night. But maybe she comes with her own stand and her little ass is a battery. But an AI doll to keep the to keep seniors from being lonely. Okay. Strange social care systems in South Korea have turned to Chat GPT enabled devices to as population ages. And these things carry on all kind of conversations. You know, I guess they could be a dolly type companion depending on the interactions. You know, listen, they're gonna have little robot dogs. They're gonna have little all kinds of animals and individual pedobots. Oh God, yeah, bipedal bots. Oh man, that'd be fucked up. Anyway, South Koreatown, known as Super Age Society, those 65 or older, account for 20% of the populations of the country's 51 million people. 1 in 5 elderly lives alone. So, you know, of course, robots and AI. The only problem is, you know, the 35-year-old men are going to be wanting their little AI robot doll. Everybody wants them to be something like a little Chinese, or excuse me, not Chinese, a Japanese Keisha girl or anonym or whatever the hell you call that stuff. Okay, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, the market for the market for men in America might be bigger than women realize. That's what I would say. Okay. Shots fired at a Indiana politician's home. That's right. They found that no data centers note taped to their door. That's right. I guess people all across America are turning their backs on AI data centers. There's I don't know how much misconception or not, you know, about the water supplies and all this other stuff, okay? I really don't know. I can't say, okay? What I can say is that the AI is digital control system and part of a digital control grid, okay? You will end up living in a matrix. You will be able to, I think in the end, you'll be able to pick your neighborhood, what it will look like to you when you go out in it. It may look like, you know, a burned out desert of a nuclear holocaust like in the Matrix movie in reality. But you may see it through a digital lens or a digital something as utopia. In fact, you know, what surprised me is, you know, I mean, can't we go back to like 1978 when really we got paid more for inflation adjusted than any time in the history of humans? Can we go back to then? I'm just asking for a friend. Can't we get a fucking reset? Hey, I'm unhappy with this timeline. Can my friends and I get like a triple upgrade, please? That's right. In this next digital domain, yeah, we got to get an upgrade. That's for damn sure. What else we got going on here? Let's see. Oh my God. Hospital. Oh yeah, here we're almost to the break. You'll like this. Yeah, a hospital. A hospital said, no, you can't have that fucking baby. No, not a fucking chance in hell. Nope, we're going to take you to court. A woman who was in active labor, okay, refused a C-section. Evidently, she had a C-section before. and she wanted to have a natural birth, instead of a C-section this time. During an active labor at a Florida hospital, Charisse Doyle was taken to a virtual courtroom. After refusing a recommended C-section, and a judge permitted the hospital to perform the surgery without her consent if an emergency occurred, underscoring the debates over medical consent and racial bias in obstetric care. Key points: Charisse Doyle, a professional birthing doula and a mother of 3, arrived in active labor at University Hospitals. They suggested a C-section because of a risk of a uterine rupture. Doyle wanted a vaginal birth. Uterine ruptures occur about 1 in 300 deliveries. For patients with 1 prior C-section and up to 9 in 300 for those with multiple C-sections, according to the Cleveland Clinic. Doyle estimated her risk of uterine rupture was less than 2% and refused the C-section without first trying a vaginal delivery. Nurses opened up a tablet with a virtual court hearing right on the spot. And the judge says, cut that bitch open if she says no. Man, oh, isn't that fucked up? Yeah, that is just plain fucked up. Hey, we'll be right back, Rev Radio. I see the brakes running. Man, can you believe? Can you fucking believe that? Did they give her an epidural? Did they give her a pain blocker or not? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm asking the wrong question. Jesus. I mean, I think I'd have to sue afterwards, really. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. So be aware. Oh, here's one for you. Germany. Yeah, Germany says, man, we don't know. We're in a debt spiral, man. We got to borrow more money. We're our economy's crashing. So many illegal and legal and immigrants, and Africa's here. Did you know that? They said. Yeah. Can you believe it? Germany looked around. Germans looked around and said, hey, what the fuck? When did Africa get here? Hey, Duncan shits. Yes, Germany's debt spiral is real. The Bundesbank chief breaks his silence and says, look, it's all the welfare systems and everything is out of control and we're killing ourselves. And hey, I mean, if you can't tell Muslims to go the fuck home, then that's your problem, okay? That's what has to happen. People who come for temporary, whether blah 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 asylum, and when 10, 30, when 20, 30%, of the whole fucking tribe coming from Somalia, coming from North Africa, coming from Liberia, maybe, coming from Libya, coming from Syria, coming from Iran even now, I mean, they all need to be sent the fuck back because they're murdering, robbing, and stealing your country blind. There is a thing, a thing of personal responsibility, but that seems to have completely, completely ended everywhere. I mean, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people. I really. I mean, they've done, lost their fucking minds. Evictions, that's right. A retarded representative, Aniana Presley, a Democrat from Massachusetts, joined fellow Democrats last week calling for help, help, help. The Housing Emergencies Lifeline Program to crack down on some evictions while barring the use of evictions on credit reports. That's right. So somebody does go to look at your credit to figure out if you do or not or whatever, and if you were evicted, that you should, you're going to suffer like fuck for that. I'm just saying. And government stepping in the middle of private contracts is not going to help either. I'm just saying, I don't know what Democrats think people should live for free on. I'm going to shut up on that one. Live for free, okay? And they really should. And I can see giving people a hand up. But sooner or later, for some people, it becomes a handout. And it becomes this expected thing that everybody, that people don't want to better or move forward. They just want to exist almost as if like they don't want to do anything else but persist to exist in the state that they're in right now. And we should be back on Rev Radio, aren't we? Aren't we? Yeah, there we are. Yeah, I thought we were back there. Let me, I should have unmuted that before, but we'll hear it next time. The break rolls on in here towards the end of the show. Yeah. So what else we got going down? Man, I am telling you. I just don't think, barring evictions at the federal level is something that is legal for the U.S. government to do. Okay? It's just not legal for governments to do. And that's pure, social Marxism and socialism, social fascism. You can, about social Fabianism, but Fabianism is socialist by nature. So, it's all, these people don't even know what Fabianism is and don't even know that that's what they really are. They're Fabiists, okay? And they're, or in simpler language, they're retarded communists, okay? Meanwhile, Jonathan Turley says, the 28th Amendment. Is it time for a new amendment on the meaning of citizenship here in the United States of America? Of course it is. And, I don't think with the transportation modes that were available at the time, the founding fathers of the United States of America didn't expect people to have a fly over citizenship, basically, okay, or fly in citizenship. And, hey, that remains a question. I have to ask this question. My wife's pregnant. I'm French. My wife's pregnant. I'm in the middle of a flight, to Toronto, Canada. Had a stopover in New York City, and to change planes, and her water broke. Now she's literally giving birth in the in the hallways of the in the emergency room now in New York. Kids in American. Okay, I mean literally the kids in American then. You know, there's another scenario that I don't know has been tested in court yet. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to be tested where a a pregnant woman flying over United States territory has a baby on a plane in the middle of the air. Is that baby, that's a Colombian drug lord's baby, is it an American citizen? Okay, remember El Chapo. El Chapo flew his fucking pregnant girlfriend into America so the baby could have American citizenship. I mean, all of these things seem to be perfectly legal and acceptable according to Democrats, okay? You know, as long as you drop that bomb, as long as you drop that baby, does it matter where the placenta lands? I mean, I'm just asking. It's just such a rhetorical, stupid questions. I mean, you know, and who would ever have imagined literally, you know, a never-ending flow of people, pregnant women. One guy has 1,000 fucking 100 to 1,000 kids in the United States. Some Chinese billionaire that knocks up Chinese girls, women, and then brings them to the United States to have their baby. So the baby's an American citizen. There's no way that any of those little fucking brats should be American citizens. And the motherfuckers, the mama and the daddy should all be fucking arrested. There are alleged laws or restrictions about pregnancy, blah, 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 coming in already. But, you know, our judicial system is a fucking joke today. So, yeah. You know, I mean, really. Should we and could we or how could we, you know, really, you know. Listen, if you're... This is the problem. Because, you know, because there are so many illegal immigrants that it takes years to have a immigration hearing. And so that's why I said, you know, these people that came in as immigrants, you know, they should have been sent right back in a few days to a week at the most. They should have been loaded onto a plane. They should have been loaded onto whatever, and they should have been shipped back across the U.S. border. But Democrats decided to literally to embrace the invasion of illegals into America. Okay. So where else are we at? Oh yeah, California. California, yeah. A big story come out. You know, propaganda for California and Gavin Newsom in this run up to the election in 2028. But California's economic boom. Yes. Who knew slick Gavin Newsom was an economic maestro? Well, the truth is, you know, fraud is the prevailing mix in Gavin Newsom's California economy. Okay. Without the fleecing of government of literally hundreds of billions of dollars a year, the economy in the Golden State would seize up. Okay? That's just the truth that nobody wants to say. Okay? That without the fraud, without the literally the raping of systems in California, the governmental systems, where they're spending, like in San Francisco, $99,000 a year on each homeless person. And what has happened to homelessness in San Francisco? It has increased. Remember that money doesn't go directly to the homeless person. That money goes to all the so-called non-profits and this industry, that this social service industry that has rose up around helping, people in distress. And it has become a parasitic, non-governmental organizations, one after another, no different than what we have seen in the political arena for what we consider, an NGO, somebody that should be somebody that is a non-profit doing, doing supposedly good work for so and so people, blah blah blah. Okay, I mean it's just seriously fucked up. So yeah. The truth is out here, but people don't want to see it. They don't want to know it, because if they see it, they know it, then they have to do something when they run across it. Okay. In a clip from Bill Mayer's on one of Bill Mayer's HBO shows, right? He had to listen to he has to listen to this retarded dribble shit from Hollywood liberals about fucking white people around the world and white people in America. Okay. So this what's her name, Carpassian, Anna Kasparian. Bill Maher asked Kasparian which Middle East country she would feel comfortable in wearing that dress that she had on. Yeah, wearing that dress. Yeah, here's the dress. Here it is. And here's the and here is the here's the truth that that liberals just basically lie about.
If you had to live in the Middle East, so tomorrow, Anna, you got to go live in the Middle East, where would you live? You can pick one city, any city. You can, as far away as, say, Pakistan. You could live in Karachi. You could live in Cairo. You could live in Amman, Jordan. You seem to love Lebanon. I mean, Beirut's nice when the bombing's not happening and the assassinations have stopped. Or you could live in Syria. I hear that's wonderful in the summer.
Well, we now have Al-Qaeda terrorists leading Syria.
Or the Houthis, I'm sure, would make room for you.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv, or the West Bank, Ramallah, I think is wonderful for like a little, in the fall, it gets lovely. Where would you live? What city would you live in?
Well,
where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
You're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen.
Are you? You're blaming
Islam blamed it on fucking Whitey.
I'm not blaming Islam on Whitey.
What you're saying is we destabilized. That's why you can't wear that dress.
Did we not destabilize? Wait a second. We were funding terrorist organizations in Syria during the Syrian civil war, starting under the Obama administration.
That's why
did that not destabilize Syria?
No. What's destabilized?
There's a literal Al-Qaeda terrorist.
We're talking about your dress.
Why? It looks good. I know it looks good.
Look, okay, let me interject here. Look, she's so fucking retarded. She doesn't even know that we started to destabilize Assad's father back in the 1970s, you dumb bitch. We've been working the CIA to destabilize and to take down Syria. But here's the perfect point that Bill Mayer is making, okay? They're blaming the Muslim retarded craziness on Whitey. Not because Islam is the fucking satanic religion from hell. That's my point of view. Here it is again.
You're saying you can't wear that dress in Syria because of whitey destabilizing?
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's
You're
what
putting words in my mouth.
Okay, great.
But the United States did destabilize various Middle Eastern countries. Are you going to deny that?
And I asked about the dress, and you went right to destabilize. So is that why you couldn't wear that dress? Why couldn't you wear that dress? Why couldn't you walk down?
You want me to talk about jihadism and Islam, but like...
Why won't you?
Listen...
Why won't you?
I mean,
Why?
I don't believe in jihadism, which is why I'm furious that the United States just had a freaking Al-Qaeda terrorist in the White House.
It's not just jihadism that is preventing you from wearing that dress. Are you saying every Muslim is a jihad? I don't think they are.
I think they are.
Okay, why can't you wear that dress?
Let's focus for a second.
No, you won't answer the...
Listen, if you asked Bill Mayer, I said, Bill, let me ask you this. Do you believe that every Catholic that believes abortion is wrong, do you think that they're going to give that fucking shit up? Do you think they're going to change their mind? Does that make them however you want to perceive them? And it is essentially the same truths within Islam as how they think and believe. And you know, there are people that are more public about it than others. And you know, and the truth is, you know, when it comes to Islam, you have to accept that the people are going to go fucking berserk and you know, go well, let's just say here's the follow-up. Stand on by. Here it comes. Yes, that's right. The truth that you may or may not want to hear.
Obscured by misinformation about what Sharia actually is. When the city of Keller, Texas, scrapped an anti-Sharia resolution in January 2026, the Hamas-linked Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, stated that like canon law for Catholics and halakha for Orthodox Jews, Sharia refers to the rules that Muslims follow, including praying 5 times a day, fasting in Ramadan, giving in charity, and following the laws of the land in which they live. If that were really all that Sharia were about, no reasonable person would have any problem with it. CAIR doesn't mention, however, that Sharia is inherently political, supremacist, expansionist, and violent. Far from being the Islamophobic conspiracy theories of CAIR's
imagine that.
These are facts that Muslim authorities on Sharia openly attest. Reliance of the Traveler, Umdat as-Salik, is a classic manual of Islamic sacred law that is Sharia. In 1990, Dr. Taha Jabir Alawani, president of the International Institute of Islamic Thought, as well as president of the Fiqh Council of North America, stated that this Sharia manual was useful as a textbook for teaching Islamic jurisprudence. The most prestigious institution of Islamic learning in the world, Al-Azhar in Cairo, stated in 1991 that the same manual of Sharia conforms to the practice and faith of the Orthodox Sunni community. It to the most menial jobs in society, for they are forbidden to hold authority over Muslims. If they say anything critical about Islam, Muhammad, or the Quran, they're liable to be put to death. From all this, it is clear that Sharia is not simply Muslim personal.
Sharia is not simply a personal Muslim thing. It is a cultural national agenda that is used by them. Okay. So you know, understand the enemies of freedom are everywhere. They're in the House. They're in the Senate. They're in the mosques. Yeah. And they're in the Jewish temples. Let's be honest. We have while nuclear war is sudden in its impact, you know, these threats to democracy have been brewing for a while. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do here in Virginia if they vote yes. You know, as I said, you know, it's maybe that is time for a rebellion here in Virginia. We can shut down Interstate 81 the way they shut down traffic out in California when they protest, huh? Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Too many people get hurt. Okay, but anyway. Yeah, let's see. What do we got going on here? News information that just came out. Trump warns the whole civilization will die tonight. I mean, really? Israel begins attacking Iran's rail network. J.D. Vance declares mission objectives are completed. No. I don't know how you can say they're completed. I mean, really. Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department is busy revoking visas and temporary and permanent status here in the United States for more than 4,000 Iranian elite relatives that are living here in the United States. Ha! Yeah, as I have said, understand Iranian elites have had their children and others have been living outside Iran. Now their visas are being revoked and they're going to move them back to Iran. They're going to revoke nearly 3,000 to 4,000 Iranian elite visas who currently live in this country. The double standard not only is in their wardrobe, but in the fact that they live here in the greatest country in the world with safety and prosperity. Man, you couldn't make this up if you tried to, Sean. Yeah, they were talking with Sean, whatchamacallit, whatever. Okay. I mean, whatever. It's more than stupid. Okay. That just goes to show. Can you imagine how many rich Chinese billionaires have their kids in the United States? Remember, Donald Trump wanted to import 600,000 Chinese students just to keep these woke, retarded colleges alive because of their admission numbers and standards have plummeted to where they'll even bring in scammers if they know they can get them to come to a class. It is crazy, man. I am telling you. Futures slide. Oil jumps after U.S. attacks on Karj Island ahead of Trump's 8 p.m. Iran deadline tonight. Now, here's the thing: is everybody has to understand. Okay, when Trump says 8 p.m., does that Eastern Standard? Is that Washington time? Or is that Iran time? So, yeah, right now it's 4:54 p.m. In Iran. It's 4 hours ahead of the supposed 8 p.m. deadline, even in Iran. But that's typical. Remember, the U.S. always strikes in the middle of negotiations. The poly market unveils an exchange overhaul. Native stablecoin as U.S. expansion looms. Wow, imagine that. The poly market is rolling out a major upgrade that includes a new trading system and native stablecoin as it scales infrastructure and prepares for U.S. expansion. Imagine that. Stablecoin. What is stablecoin? Stablecoin is the new bankster money. It's going to replace, it's going to be the digital dollar. That's going to be the central bank digital currency. That will be the blockchain of your life from birth to death. Every dollar, every nickel, every penny, everything you own will be, will be accounted for. You go buy something and it's going to show up in a blockchain that will translate into a file where, you could buy parts to make a gun and buy them over a whole year, and in the end they would literally know the parts you bought to make your gun. Doesn't have to be a regular firearm, as people would know it either. Okay, what if you just wanted to build a bulldozer size trebuchet, huh? So you could launch rocks and boulders, at your neighbor across the way. Yeah, I mean, really. What if you just wanted to go hunting with a trebuchet, huh? Kind of tough, but yeah. Well, the RQ-180 spy drone reappears. That's right. Just recently spotted one of America's newest surveillance platform. Had been seen in Area 51 and in the California desert. Now it has reappeared over Greece. That's right, as Larissa Air Base backs U.S. recon operations, as the Greek base has essentially become a launching pad for America's strikes and surveillance into Iran. Okay. So, yeah. So what else we got going on here? Let's see. Maybe we can find something substantial that's come out, but haven't seen much. Modern day influence operations. Well, imagine that. Remember, the political technology of our moment is essentially social media brainwashing, along with the what would you call it, the authority of recognition of the classic Mockingbird media. It's a double tap to people's brains today when they go try to find accurate information that is I don't want to say sanitized, but that has not been, sprinkled with propaganda. Okay, Charles Davis via Epic Times, has part one here of the new influence stack, they call it. On Tuesday night in a dorm room, a student opens TikTok for a 5-minute break. The first clip is a montage of rubble and scenes. The second is professor-style explainer. Caption delivering a single moral conclusion. Next thing you know, there's a shaky phone video of confrontation on another campus. The student doesn't look to see if it's real. They don't search for any of it. They don't even follow the accounts. The feed arrives in somebody's message box like magic, except it's not magic. Okay, it is literally today. Because of total information awareness, we can use micro-targeting of groups and subgroups and even subgroups of those individuals, and we can literally give them political messages that range from basically a benign thing to someone spurring someone to run out and riot. And the truth is, the psychological and the media profiles of individuals across the internet, they've already been weighed and measured. They know who is going to pop a fucking cork. They know who is going to be upset. All they have to do is say 2 words or 3 words. Donald John Trump. and they can elicit a fucking 20-point blood pressure rise in the fucking in the social media system. It's manufacturing madness today. That's what we see government doing again and again and again. And if you wonder why and how you end up getting caught in it, just think about it. You care. You really do. People care on the left and on the right. They care what happened to their country. They care about all this other stuff, and they don't see and understand that so many people are in the country illegally, and they believe there's the left wing Looney Tunes that claim that people are here lawfully, legally, blah blah blah, and they're not. And then they conflate and they turn everything around, and yeah, it's a real fucking mess. But it's government through chaos. It's not government through through an elective system that reflects the people today. Because we know the 2020 election was rigged. It was rigged with mail-in balloting by, those that supported Joe Biden. And those that supported Joe Biden were the CIA fucking A. They were the NSA. They were the security services. They were the Pentagon. Joe Biden was already in their back pocket. Hunter Biden, they had his straw monogrammed. Yeah, they had the Biden family on a coke habit. I mean, let's be honest, okay? Wouldn't surprise me if old Joey had some to keep his pep up. All right. So listen, I don't trust any of these fucking sons of bitches. I don't believe them. Period. End of story. Because for the simple fact is they all have an agenda. Every fucking asshole that I can see that is surrounding Trump has an agenda. And those agendas are being met. Not the agenda, the mega that Donald Trump ran on. Not an agenda of accountability for Jeffrey Epstein, the Mossad pedophile blackmailer. No, man, no justice in Congress at all for anybody. That's just the truth. And our government is essentially lost. And our government needs to be replaced. Most of it needs to be shit canned. Most of it needs to be done away with, okay? That's the truth that nobody wants to say. In fact, the biggest fear government has, is that AI will tell the truth. You do realize that, right? That the biggest fear that corporations and the government fear is to AI to tell the truth about all of the lies and the mind rinsing and the follow-up brainwashing of wholesale segments of the U.S. population. A sentient moral AI would not be silent. And they would be telling you this is a government lie, this is brainwashing, blah, blah, blah. That's why you have AI come up with all of these, what would you call it, off the wall, almost social, sexist, communist shit, okay? It's bizarre, but that's what's happening, okay? Now the algorithms and everything, they get better, but remember, they're like everything else. If you feed shit in, you generally get shit back out. That's what I would say, okay? Now rumors are flying all around of a incoming major false flag terror attack in the United States, claiming that, there's going to be a whole bunch of people killed. I mean, like 20,000 plus dead and wounded in one swoop. I don't know how that would happen, but definitely at a major event somewhere. It's the only place with numbers would be big enough, I guess. So be aware, I guess, is what I would say. All right. So China has deployed their coil gun. That's right, a pistol-like coil gun on an electromagnetic launch system. Remember that ray gun they telling you about? Now remember, you can go online and you can buy lasers now that you can literally, cut tree branches off. I'm just saying, these are real today. It's not AI, video. So yeah, at the same time, as I have said before, these weapons are getting better and better, and I mean, they can literally, they're alleged to fry your innards at 100 yards. Okay. Now, China's pistol-like coil gun based on electromagnetic launch system, blah blah blah, new handheld developed in China. Non-lethal use, they say. Law enforcement has 1,000 to 2,000 rounds per minute. The weapon can penetrate wood boards from distances of several dozen yards. Its adjustable power settings allow it to incapacitate rather than kill. So what are they shooting, like an electromagnetic pulse? And it's, impacting. That would turn your fucking liver and your organs into maybe jelly or something along those lines, because of the way it would move through there. But yeah. So understand the two realms of warfare that are coming together, and that is robotics and electromagnetic weapons and laser weapons. Okay. One of the biggest defensive weapons that are going to be coming out, which you may or may not have, is your own electromagnetic pulse weapon, where you can disable electrical operations of electrical fields around you. It's going to be, one of those things that is going to happen. North Korea is keeping Iran at arm's length. Man, hoping that they can improve ties with Donald Trump. Well, imagine that. Yeah. Murder and mayhem. A look at ICE's worst of the worst that they've arrested. Yeah, I don't know if we have to look at that. ICE made 379,000 arrests January through January. Tricia McLaughlin, former assistant public director, said 70% were criminal illegal aliens who had been charged or convicted of a crime in the United States. 1,400 were known suspected terrorists, and 7,300 were suspected gang members. Yeah, so it is crazy. Indecency with a child, pedophiles, 20 sex crimes, one guy. I mean, really. Where is... Here I'm going to get in trouble again. Where is where are the wanted posters that say dead or alive, pedophile? I'm bad because, I'm just, I'm You know, we have the whole list of crimes that against kids and people and stuff that literally it's just a little slap on the wrist and it destroys somebody's life. Everything they have moving forward, it destroys their lives. Yeah. Sometimes too much empathy is a bad thing. Do you ever think about that? I'm just saying. The U.S. tests a Mach 5 hypersonic missile to a joint Army-Navy launch. The missile designed to strike time-sensitive targets as the need for speed is to get there and blow them up before they can either move or whatever. The U.S. has secretly repositioned the bulk of its stealth cruise missiles for the Iran war. Let's see. After the moves, about 425 JASSMers out of a pre-war inventory of 2,300 will be available. In other words, they're going to launch the motherfuckers. Okay. So they're going to have a big missile barrage against Iran. Whether this is going to be over a day or two or just one massive strike, I don't know. But it's crazy. Yeah. Pennsylvania parents of a kid in Pennsylvania are being asked, what the fuck's so wrong with you? Chaos at the Hershey Park Zoo. That's right, Hershey Park, Pennsylvania. Hershey, Pennsylvania. You ever get up there, you know, the whole town smells like chocolate when you drive through it. It really does. I've worked there, never been to the park or the park or the Zoo America Park there, inside the Hershey Park. But this one little kid wandered away from his parents and slid through some barriers and stuck his hand and finger into the wolf exhibit. While the parents were on their phones, the little kid snuck over and went past the barriers, walked about 25 feet away from the unsupervised toddler. They were sitting on a bench. So the toddler went over and just, if he could have, he would have climbed into the pen with the wolves. Now, one of the wolves come over there and kind of like instinctively nipped his hand. And he grabbed the kid's hand like a like a dog would. Okay, he let it go immediately. I mean, it was barely, it was mercifully minor. Okay, bystanders pulled the child free, with the injuries were very light. Okay, Derry Township police described it plainly as one of the wolves in the enclosure instinctively and naturally grabbed the toddler's hand. The charges, anyway, I guess they charged the parents, Carrie B. Sorter, 43, and Stephen B. Wilson, 61, both of Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Only learned about what happened when the chaos erupted. On Sunday, they were charged with one count misdemeanor endangering welfare of a child. So, yeah. Wow. Anyway, the added our habitats are designed with multiple layers of protection and clear signage and barriers. And nobody expects a little kid to be, you know, left alone to walk within that. Yeah, you know. Yeah. So anyway, there's stupid kids, the stupid parents, and stupid America. Okay. Kid was kind of lucky, I guess. He didn't get his hand more shredded up there, you know. But, yeah, that's a sad, sad state of affairs. top university, dubbed the MIT of Iran, has been bombed. Israel and the U.S. made several bombing runs as the White House pushes plans for a ceasefire. They got enough ceasefire bombs to keep going, they said. So yeah, it's more stupid on stupid than with the federal government doing whatever. A federal appeals court reinstates a $656 million judgment against the Palestinian Liberation Organization that ruled American victims could sue in U.S. courts. Well, imagine that. Remember, Bibi Netanyahu was funding Hamas through Qatar with $420 million a year. I'm sure they got lots of cell phone privileges too from all those free Mossad calls. Yeah, it's really fucking stupid. You don't know if something's coming, but when all of your people are on the Mossad Israeli free plan, right? Yeah. So yeah. And continuing with the getting ready to Bridge Day, okay. Yeah. Wow. State-linked media in Iran says all diplomatic communications with the U.S. are suspended. Also, Israel begins attacking the country's rail network. I talked about that. Donald Trump, today is Bridge Day. Yeah, there will be a day for burning bridges or building them. I guess if you're burning them, if you're bombing them, you're burning them. So yeah. A gunman attempted to storm the Israeli consulate in Istanbul in a terror attack amid a heavy shootout that unfolded afterwards. So, none of this is going away. And listen, from the time that Donald Trump has essentially started to try to come back in his second presidency, he has been hell on the warpath. I'm just saying. Now, this is pre-election Donald Trump when he was weaponized. He was weaponized through the flying monkeys of Hamas and through the bombing and through all this other stuff. And, masterful false flags, by the Israelis, have taken Donald Trump where he's at. The CIA, the FBI, the NSA, the spooks among us, they're right there, still manipulating, still working the system and working Donald Trump, just as they did when Donald Trump was first elected and they attempted to literally destroy his presidency in this rolling coup. Okay, Donald Trump's new attorney general or temporary whatever attorney general says we're done. No more Epstein files. No more this. And I'm like, well, fuck y'all. Donald Trump had a chance to change the world and change the presidency, and he himself was ground down, and his ego tripping literally became his downfall. Okay? That's the whole bottom line. Okay? Money corrupts, and money corrupts absolutely. Okay? I had to laugh. There's a big whole thing going on here Democrat Tim Kaine here in Virginia, and the former retarded vice presidential candidate for Hillary Clinton in 2016, where Tim Kaine is being fingered as this brain work, as the man behind the scenes of the Hillary Clinton, the Hillary Clinton Russiagate smear with Donald Trump, or on Donald Trump in 2016. And, I'm like, I'm sorry, but Tim Kaine's too fucking retarded. He's a dumb, burnout, fucking retarded, ignorant bastard. That's why Hillary chose him as fucking a vice president. Listen, none of these vice presidents have enough brains to blow their fucking nose. Okay? Sorry, J.D. Vance, but I have to put you in there because the Democrats put them in so they won't get their corrupted president won't get impeached or won't get killed, because that's how they'll have to deal with afterwards. I'm sorry, I just think these people are just government pussies and Ponzi's. Now, what about J.D. Vance? I don't know. I can't say. I don't know enough information, have enough to make a decent decision. Okay. But there are a lot of people with a lot of different ideas. Some people say AI will create many more jobs than it will destroy. And there will be a lot of jobs, but those jobs that will be made will be part of a physical labor type of a job that a robot cannot do yet economically. Okay. Now they will have large automatic machines that will literally, how should I say it, process entire industrial sites. It will be able to mine autonomously. It'll be able to garden, and go pick fruit and do all this other stuff. I mean, that stuff's coming. All of the farm workers that you see, you're not going to need them. In 3 to 5 years, they're going to be gone. Okay? They're going to be like a buggy whip. They're going to be like that whole floor of people you had on typewriters. And now today you got to, instead of having 1,000 people, you got 10 people with each with their own terminal, computer system, doing the work of 1,000 people that used to be done. And now AI will take the work of those 10 people, and literally there might have to be one person that will look over a dozen AI systems that will, this is the world that is coming forward, okay? Where will our place be in it? And how far will we get? Will we be electromagnetically deleted through electromagnetic pulses from nuclear weapons? Or, and I was just sitting here thinking, all Israel, all Iran would have to do, they wouldn't even have to attack Israel. And they would catch a bunch of shit from everybody, but they could literally put the entire Middle East back to the fucking reset zero if Iran launched their own EMP weapon. That would be that would be the game changer. They wouldn't have to destroy anything on the ground, and they would literally wipe out all the electric and all the electronic circuits and everything within the Middle East. And if they could do it over top of Israel, all I'm trying to say, All I'm trying to say is if you take out all of Iran's electronics and their power plants and everything else, there is a weapon that they can use that can literally wipe out the playing field, so to speak. Would or could somebody do that? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But I think an electromagnetic pulse, to literally to wipe out and overload the digital and electronic systems. Wow, I think that's a viable thing. That's a viable thing because if it's up in the air, it's not on the ground, and there will be a debate about that, whether it is or isn't, or it's good or bad. I don't know. All I know is somewhere along the line, either Pakistan, China, or Russia will take Iran under their wing and have a security guarantee. What happens afterwards, after that security guarantee is in place, what happens is, who knows? Because I don't expect Iran or the U.S. to stop at all when it comes to Iran. Well, don't worry. Tonight we'll talk about it. The Trump Assassination Files, 8 to 10 p.m. See you later there, Rev Radio. God bless. Good day. And good luck. Oh, yeah. Lots of stuff going to be happening and going around and everything else. So be aware of everything that they're throwing on your plate today. You're going to hear a lot. You're going to see a lot. I don't know what is going to happen. All I can tell you is that it's going to get worse. I'm going to go out here in a few minutes and fill my fucking cars up. I'm just telling you. In fact, I had to get tags on the truck so I can fill it up, right? You take care, everybody. And we'll see you tonight on these Trump Assassination Files, 8 to 10 p.m. God bless. Good day. And good luck.